Let's get more on the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. Emerson T. Brooking joins us, Senior Fellow at the Digital Forensic Research Lab of the Atlantic Council. Thank you for being with us. Joining us, of course, from Washington, D.C. What are the differences for you from the Taliban of the mid-1990s and this Taliban 2021 version?
The Taliban of the 90s, the Taliban at the time of the 2001 U.S. invasion, essentially the internet was not a factor, and very few Afghans had access to cell phones. Today, about 40% of Afghans are online. 90% of Afghans have cell phones. The Taliban are part now of the information environment like everyone else, and we've seen a change then in their propaganda, in their digital manipulation techniques, in the way that they've used the internet to project their power and now their legitimacy.
Can this Taliban be trusted, do you think?
No. I think now we are in a moment where it is in the Taliban's interests to project the friendliest face to the world. Taking over a state is hard. The recriminations can come later because the Taliban will now rule over a captive population. But I would say that recent messages from the Taliban diplomatic delegation or from the Taliban in Kabul that they are a new, softer version, that they will respect the rights of women, that they will not launch violent recrimination. I would not trust what they say. I would wait to see what happens in the next months or years.
We've seen online what happens to women in Afghanistan at the hands of the Taliban. The videos have been verified, the location's verified. It's undeniable what's been happening. And this is one of the big differences, isn't it? And I think this is where you're coming from. With the advent of the internet, with social media, the Taliban's also used that as a tool to increase its reach. That's
right. And the internet, I think, worked very much to the Taliban's advantage. Starting in about 2011, the Taliban made the decision to join the global conversation, to start their first Twitter account. And in the years that followed, there was a steady stream of announcements that they would make of military victories, often unverifiable. But thousands, tens of thousands of these sorts of missives. And over time, it really, I think, their intention, and I think it was at least partially successful, was to lend momentum and legitimacy to their cause, and to project themselves not as an insurgent organization, but as a viable alternative to the Afghan national government.
Indeed. What's been seen today, for instance, being billed as a news conference by the Taliban, it's not a news conference in the style of anything I've ever been to as a journalist in terms of what we recognise as a media conference with the right to put questions freely, but not. Then again, this goes all around the world via the internet as this news event.
Right. It's a news conference under duress. And something else that I've noticed, just because of the way flows of information on the internet work, because of the cognizance of Afghans in Kabul about the dangers of the Taliban, there's now an extraordinary degree of self-censorship. Women have stopped going outside. Journalists are rightfully hiding in place. The Taliban may not need to take the same repressive measures that it did in the 90s if so many people are immediately abiding because they know what's coming.
And that is a scary thing, isn't it? That automatically a people revert to what is expected of them by those who have seized power. What do you sense then is in store for the people of Afghanistan in the days, weeks, months, years to come, and especially for women and girls?
I think that things will happen slowly. It will take time for the Taliban to assert control over the territory that they've captured, the state institutions that they've captured. And it's also in the Taliban's interests for now to appear as, soft and changed as possible. But I think we will see the true face of the Taliban in months or years. And something that deeply concerns me is that for people who assisted Western forces in Afghanistan, who assisted or supported the Afghan national government, records of their support are also last forever on social media and the internet. So I fear the Taliban have all the time in the world to take these harsh, punitive, recriminatory steps against those who wanted a better life in Afghanistan.
The key role there of the internet in every aspect of what is happening. Emerson T. Brooking from the Digital Forensic Research Lab at the Atlantic Council. Thank you, sir, for joining us there from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.